Hey guys, it's Nick here today to talk about the one exercise you're not doing to fix your gait cycle. So if you don't know, essentially all the gait cycle is walking. So as human beings, walking is one of the things that we evolved to do most. We're really, really good at it. And a lot of times in modern society, because of the shoes that we wear, the way that we sit all the time, our tissues are really dehydrated and things are stiff and stuck. And a lot of us can't walk properly. And when we can't walk properly, we can't really do any other movements properly. It affects our body's structure, it affects our body's function, all kinds of different things. So something really popular now in the fitness community is what we call gait-based exercise or biomechanics-based exercise, which is a great, great thing. Rather than just lifting heavy barbells and bodybuilding, people are starting to realize that human beings are meant to walk and meant to move in certain ways, so we should really be training ourselves in these same ways. So whether that's throwing, walking, running, jumping, any of these basic human movements that we have, we can apply those to different training methods like, using resistance bands and using all of these really cool tools to mimic the way that we should be moving. But the one thing that these fitness programs often miss is our true foundation as humans, which is our developmental movement sequence. And all that means is the movements that we learn when we're babies. So learning to pick up our head, learning to lead with our eyes, learning to crawl, roll, rock, all these different things that set us up for proper walking, running, standing when we get older. So as a baby, the first movement you learn is really just breathing, right? So we breathe through our diaphragm, we breathe in and out through our nose. It sets up the pressure in our abdominal cavity. It starts to strengthen some of those muscles in there. And then once we become proficient at the breathing, then we learn how to control our head. We lead with our eyes. We look around the room. And then eventually the next step would be learning how to roll over. A lot of times a baby will be looking towards something, whether it's their mother or a toy, and it's looking with its eyes, it's reaching towards something, and then the baby kind of just rolls over. So if you watch a baby roll over for the first time, it kind of looks like an accident because it is. The baby isn't really intending to roll over, it's just reaching towards something and its body just does this big flop. So what does this have to do with walking? Well, when you roll over, it connects your body in this big X shape. So if you watch me roll, say I'm rolling with this leg first, this leg comes over and then it eventually pulls this arm off the ground, right? So there's a bunch of these muscular and fascial connections that make that happen. If you think about the way that we walk as human beings, we walk with opposite arm and leg like this. So what this rolling does is it's actually the first movement that connects our opposite arm and leg in this big X shape. So pretend I'm a baby and I'm reaching for something over this way. When I lift up this side of my body, this glute and these hamstrings on the opposite side start to contract. And if you want to get really nerdy with it, we call that the posterior oblique sling or the back functional line. But really, you can just think of your body as a nice big X. And when this side moves, then this opposite side has to move as well. So what that looks like, I'm looking with my eyes, I'm reaching over this way, I'm creating a nice big X shape with my body, and then I roll over. And aside from connecting that big X, rolling also is really important to activate all of those deep little rotator muscles in your spine and in your deep core that help to stabilize you in any movement that you do. So as soon as I lift my eyes up and over to go roll, everything in my deep core has to kind of contract to keep me safe. But if we can't access that, we have to use all the muscles on the outside and get really stiff. And we're contracting our abs and we're rolling like a big log, whereas we should just be able to be really fluid and roll over nicely like a baby does. So if for whatever reason you can't roll properly, it's pretty likely that you won't be able to walk or run efficiently either. This is your foundation as a human being, and modern society tends to kind of mess with that. And getting back to those basic movement patterns, especially the rolling, can really help with the way we move as adults. So the moral of the story is start with the foundations, get really good at the basics so that all the advanced stuff like walking, running, skipping, sprinting just naturally becomes easier for you. So if you have any other questions, head over to my website, blueprintwellnessllc.com, and thank you so much for watching.